Okay, I think I'm live, but let me edit my stream info. Lady, quit licking, please. Good morning, everyone watching replay. You can skip through the first few minutes if you want. Let me just fix my title. Missing Georgia woman. Okay. Make it public. I can't wait till my StreamYards resets and I can start back live streaming through it so I can screen share. Okay, I'll just wait for y'all to come in here. YouTube never notifies anyone anymore. If any of you all want to join the Discord so I can tell y'all when I'm going live and we can chat, it's going to be a friendly Discord. Email me and I will give you the link. Lovable Rogue, good morning. How are you doing? I found us a lot of topics this morning. I hope we get to all of them. It's crazy things going on in the world, as always. I still got a little bit of a headache. Feels like a sinus headache. Hey, Southern Mom. Be safe driving. Tremaine, good morning. He says, good morning, my beautiful moon pie. I just ate a moon pie, Tremaine. A banana moon pie. I'm obsessed with moon pies. I gotta heat them up. They're not any good unless you heat the moon pie up. Get the marshmallows, melted. So while I was looking at true crime, well, it came to me last night. There's been a lot of people since this coronavirus outbreak that has tried to cross-contaminate items to spread the coronavirus. And it reminded me of a vintage case. I think it's out of New York. I've got the information pulled up. We'll read it in just a minute when everybody gets in here. But it's the story of Mary Milan. I think I'm pronouncing her name right. And they called her Typhoid Mary. It's a crazy story I'm going to read to you guys. And what Mary actually did was she spread typhoid to all kinds of different people on purpose. This was back in the early 1900s. Yes, I've had plenty of coffee. Maybe I've had too much. Hey, Jane, good morning. Hey, faithful one, good morning. Yeah, maybe I've had too much. I don't know. I've not been feeling good, and I just feel like I've got this sinus headache. I hope everyone's doing good and safe and got everything they need. Hey, leave it to Bieber. Yeah, it's a crazy story. I actually ran across it researching one day, and then I watched a documentary on it. Good morning, CC. For some reason, you're only on my phone. It's probably the stupid Streamlabs. YouTube's acting crazy. People get notified after my stream's already done. Yeah, so that's why I put up a video this morning to remind everybody. And I was like, crap, I'm just going to start my own Discord. I don't usually use Discord, but I started my own. If anybody wants to join, you can email me. That way, I can put in there when I'm going live, remind everybody. The Chinese were deliberately spitting in lifts a few months ago. There's video on it. Well, I saw someone did a video and it says that the Chinese had a laboratory over there and they were testing on some bats in a nearby cave. And that's where the coronavirus started from, was that bat cave. And then I guess, I hope it's not buffering for everyone. Hey, Cheryl. Good morning. And then I guess someone got one of the bats and ate it. Spread the coronavirus. Them poor babies, their dad couldn't handle the stress as a pandemic. What in the hell's going on with people? I don't know. I mean, I don't know what's going on with people. I know it's a stressful time, but Jesus Christ, to kill your children? There's a bunch of craziness in the news. We're going to get to it. Since I can't screen share, I've got everybody's picture up there. But I want to tell y'all about Typhoid Mary real quick. So Mary Milan, I think that's how you say her name. Mary Milan was born in 1869 in Cookstown, County Tyrone, in what is now Northern Ireland. She migrated to the United States in 1883 or 1884. She lived with her aunt and uncle for a time and later found work as a cook for affluent families. From 1900 to 1907, Typhoid Mary worked as a cook in the New York City area for 7 families. In 1900, she worked in, I looked up how to pronounce this, but it was a place in New York. I looked it up this morning, now I can't remember it. Where within 2 weeks of her employment, residents developed typhoid fever. 1901, she moved to Manhattan, where members of the family from whom she worked developed fevers and diarrhea, and the laundress died. Mary then went to work for a lawyer and left after 7 of the 8 people in the household became ill. In August 1906, Mary took a position in Oyster Bay, Long Island, and within 2 weeks, 10 of the 11 family members were hospitalized with typhoid. She changed jobs again, and similar occurrences happened in 3 more households. She worked as a cook for the family of a wealthy New York banker, Charles Henry Warren. When the Warrens rented a house in Oyster Bay for the summer of 1906, Mary went along too. From August 27th to September 3rd, 6 of the 11 people in the family came down with typhoid fever. The disease at the time was unusual in Oyster Bay, according to 3 medical doctors who practiced there. Mary was subsequently hired by other families, and outbreaks followed her. In late 1906, one family hired a typhoid researcher named George Soper to investigate. George published the results on June 15, 1907 in the Journal of the American Medical Association. He believed Mary might have been the source of the outbreak. He discovered that the female Irish cook who fit the physical description he was given was involved in all the outbreaks. He was unable to locate her because she generally left after an outbreak began, without giving a forwarding address. He learned of an active outbreak in a penthouse on Park Avenue, and he discovered Mary Milan was the cook. 2 of the household servants were hospitalized, and the daughter of the family died of typhoid. When he approached Mary about her possible role in spreading typhoid, she adamantly rejected his request for urine and stool samples. Since Mary refused to give samples, he decided to compile a 5-year history of Mary's employment. He found that of the 8 families that hired Mary as a cook, members of 7 claimed to have contracted typhoid fever. On his next visit, he took another doctor with him, but again was turned away. During a later encounter, when Mary was herself hospitalized, he told her he would write a book and give her all the royalties. She angrily rejected his proposal and locked herself in a bathroom until he left. She was arrested and quarantined. I'm not going to go ahead and read it all because it's pretty long, but she was a carrier of typhoid, and she purposely spread it to all these families. Yeah. She was quarantined, and I think she was released. She started to cook for other families, and then she was arrested again and quarantined. Um, yeah, it says in 1915, after she was released from her first quarantine, another major outbreak. This time it was Sloan Hospital for Women in New York City. She infected 25 people, and two of them died. She again left the scene, and police were unable to find her until March 27th, 1915. She ended up spending the rest of her life in quarantine at the Riverside Hospital, and she died 6 years later. But it reminds me of these people trying to spread the coronavirus. That's why I wanted to share it with y'all. And she earned the name as Typhoid Mary. Yeah, it's terrible. What year was this? It was the early 1900s. From 1900 through 1915. Her second quarantine, she was in there from 1915 to 1938, it says. Let's see when she died. Yeah. So she died on November 11th, 1938. She died of pneumonia at 69 years old. She didn't even die from the typhoid. She was just a carrier of the typhoid. See, they didn't know much about diseases back then. They didn't realize that someone could be a carrier and not be sick, not be showing signs of having typhoid fever. When I was little, we lived in a mobile home park down near Cumberland, Kentucky. And there was a neighbor. This little girl would get out and play in this ditch. And the ditch evidently had sewer or something running into it. And she got typhoid fever and got really sick and had to be hospitalized. Yeah, Lovable Rogue. All you gotta look up is Typhoid Mary. It'll pop right up. Hey, Miss Murder, how are you? Good to see you. See Miss Crystal. I don't know if I said hi to Crystal. Hey, Crystal. Yeah. It's a crazy story. I just don't get people. I mean, that's murder. When you spread a disease and it kills people, that is murder. That is premeditated. So I'm thinking if this woman was a cook and spreading typhoid, was she spitting in their food? Was she getting some kind of bodily fluids in their food? She had to have been. Look how much we have advanced in 100 years, considering we have been here a long time. I know. Good morning, Denise. Maybe coughing into it. Yeah, coughing or spitting into it. From what I understand, this woman intentionally spread it. Yeah. It is crazy. So I have a woman's picture up right above Carol Baskin and Dawn Lewis in the cat picture. There's a lady's picture. And she is a young woman missing from Georgia. And she has a medical condition. She went for a walk and she didn't return. That's all I know so far. We're going to read it. I just glanced at this stuff. I like reading it with y'all. A Georgia woman with a medical condition has been missing since Monday morning. Fox 5 Atlanta reports that Kiana Lloyd, 24, was last seen Monday morning as she left her Gwinnett County home for a walk, but she never returned. When she left her home on Towering Pine Trail in Lawrenceville, Lloyd was reportedly wearing gray pants, a white t-shirt under a black hoodie, and black high-top sneakers with rhinestones. According to the report, the missing woman has an unspecified medical condition that requires her to be in continuous contact with family. It is not clear if the condition requires medication. Bless her heart. Anyone with information about Lloyd's whereabouts is urged to call the Gwinnett County Police at 770-513-5300. And that's all the information that is out on it right now. I'm just wondering what kind of disability. She probably maybe has something wrong with her to where, her family has to look after her quite a bit, I hope they find her safe. I really do. I hope nobody's done nothing to her. Hey, Red Rub. Good morning. Very merry. Good morning. Labor Oaks balls from coffin spread many meters. Yeah. I also heard, back to Typhoid Mary for a second, we were talking about, also heard that she wasn't very clean. Y'all probably can't see her picture because the chat's over it. But, I mean, she looked like an attractive woman. To me, back in the day. Let me see what else I have here for us. I saw something. A YouTuber tackles woman jogger, punches her face and chest. Let's see what this is. Oh my gosh, he looks like a freaking nut. Oh my gosh. Why do they gotta have such hard names to pronounce? Vitaly? Oh gosh, I can't pronounce this. He's a YouTube prankster. He was arrested Sunday night in Miami Beach for allegedly beating up a woman jogger for no apparent reason. Well, he was probably doing a YouTube video, to truth known. It's not his first arrest. Okay, so he's better known as his YouTube handle. Gosh, Vital something. It's VITALYZD TV. I have never heard of him. I don't watch a lot of those prankster videos and stuff like that. I mean, I just don't find it funny, someone getting, punched and stuff. I can put it in the chat for you, Very Mary. Okay. There it is. Hey, Emily. There's Mel Mel. Hey, girl. Oh, y'all are welcome. I'm sorry I couldn't pronounce that YouTuber's name, but it must be like Russian or something. I never heard of him anyways. He looks like a freaking nut. It's unimportant to us. I think that's stupid, going in and attacking people for a video. I'm assuming that's what he was doing. I mean, he looks about batshit crazy anyways. Okay, see, the picture at the bottom of the screen in the woman in the peachish pink color shirt. That's who we're going to talk about now. She's from Manhattan. She broke off their engagement to her fiance. He allegedly chased her down the street and stabbed her to death in a wine shop. It says an angry fiance allegedly chased down his bride-to-be from her home 2 blocks down a Manhattan street Wednesday night after she broke off their engagement, catching up to her in a wine store where he stabbed her to death. The New York Daily News reported John Foster, a 63-year-old martial arts expert known as Jensen Fury, then ran back to Gabriel Gottlieb's 5-story apartment building, climbed to the roof, and threatened to jump. "She was the love of my life," he shouted to the police officers, who eventually made their way to the roof with him. The love of your life you just butchered in front of the public? Yeah, that's not love, buddy. He ignored orders to get down on the ground, screamed, "Shoot me," and charged at the officers before they managed to get him into cuffs. Okay, he owns an acupuncture center called Well Balanced Woman and had known Foster for about a year, meeting at a I can't talk, spirituality workshop, a friend told the Daily News. Although he had been arrested 18 times, including on drug and assault charges, the two became engaged 3 months later. Wow. 18 times this man's been arrested. It says she was an incredibly accomplished woman who had terrible taste in men. Judy Jackson, who'd known her for 40 years, said, even though she had this history, she felt that she could help him. She believed in him when he minimized and diminished her past. Jackson told the paper her friend had recently become concerned with Foster's volatile behavior, but asked him to stay at her apartment during the coronavirus shutdown. Things got worse, Jackson said. Jackson said the two had an argument Wednesday when Foster came home with bleeding knuckles. He'd reportedly punched a wall because he thought he was overcharged at a fast food restaurant. God, what a freaking nut. She was done at that point, Jackson said, taking off the engagement ring and putting it on the finger of a Buddha statue. She called Jackson and told her the story, and later texted to say Foster had calmed down. That was a deadly miscalculation, Jackson told the Daily News. So police chased him down the street shortly after 10 p.m. Oh no, he chased her down the street shortly after 10 p.m. She ran into the wine shop seeking help, the New York Post said. Foster followed her in, wielding a knife and shouting, "That's what you get for breaking up with me, and you'll be punished for this." He tried to shove the ring down her throat and stabbed her in the chest 5 times. He fled to the rooftop where he stayed until 3 a.m., threatening to jump and calling on cops to kill him. You cannot fix these men, ladies. You cannot fix them. I used to think that too back when I was in an abusive relationship in my early 20s. My first husband, he was a bastard. He was a mean son of a, you know what. He really was. And he would say he was going to change, and he was an alcoholic. And he would go to rehab, and he would leave rehab and stop at the damn liquor store. And then he would be good for about a week. That's what they call the honeymoon stage. After they beat you up, then they sucker you back in. They'll be good to you for a little bit. It's called the honeymoon stage. And then he would go back to his old ways until I just had enough and left him. But you cannot change these men. You know, we've quite a few of us have a history of picking the wrong kind of man. I've learned from my mistakes, but some people don't. Oh, it's okay, Jane. Thank you. It's in the past. Thanks, Light Feather. It's in the past. But I never put up with that crap again. Some man hitting on me. How long was I with him for? Let me see. 17. Well, I was almost 17 till I was 22. Married to him, yeah. After he broke my jaw, we were down in Pigeon Forge, down Gatlinburg area. After he broke my jaw and I got home, I was done with him. I was still with him, but I'll tell you what really made me done with him. One day I was driving back up through the holler. I lived up above my granny. I had this, the cigarette lighters in the car. I had it pushed in. And I had said something, and he grabbed me by the thigh and did one of those cow bites. And about that time, that cigarette lighter popped out, and I stuck that cigarette lighter on that MFer's leg. And he smacked me upside my face, and my jaw broke and stuff, and I was done with him. And I didn't even say nothing smart or anything like that. He was just a son of a bitch. But you know what? He made me tougher. At first, I would let him beat on me. But then he would knock me down to the ground, and this old girl would come up swinging. But he would just hit me that much harder. But I started fighting back. I'm telling you, he made me think bad things in my mind. Thank God in my mind I was sane enough, because he about drove me crazy, really. I mean, he'd tell me I was ugly, nobody would ever like me. He's older than me, too, about 15 years older than me. And, I had bad thoughts in my head. I tell you what, he beat me up one time, and I'm not ashamed to tell this. He had one of those big beers sitting on the counter, and he went to the bathroom, and I poured castor oil in it. I sure did. I poured castor oil in his beer. He was drunk. He's like, did you do something to my beer? He kind of squeaked like a little girl sometimes. And I was like, I don't know what she's talking about. Boy, he was sick at his stomach. He stayed in the bathroom the rest of the night. He was extremely abusive to me. One time I pepper sprayed him. He about knocked me out. I actually seen flashes of light. He pushed me, and when I fell, I hit the doorknob. I actually saw flashes of light. When I came to, my mama gave me pepper spray because of him. When I came to, I walked in there, and I sprayed his face full of pepper spray. Me and my little dog, Bear, we was coughing. I mean, he was abusive. I had a little dog, y'all, and that dog knew he was abusive, and we would go hide out in the woods from him. And when he would walk by, little Bear wouldn't make a peep. I had little Bear for 10 years, and my mom's 2 Pyrenees dogs killed her. Cece almost did the eye drops in the coffee. I'm going to tell you, he was very abusive to me, mentally, physically. I probably shouldn't put that in his beer. I don't care. It's been years ago. He deserved it. He deserved more than that. He was very abusive. I tried to go to church, y'all, and he would go out there and take this little piece off my car so it wouldn't start and stuff. I mean, he was mean. He was mean, but it made me tough. I was already tough, but I let him beat me down. I don't blame you, Cece. I put itching powder in my friend's underwear because he was a piece of crap. That's good for him. My friend's ex killed his girlfriend's dog and got 4 years in prison, and they're back together now. I'd never speak to him again. See, that's another thing Jeff did. That's his name, Jeff. He put my dog on top of the refrigerator one time, and I was begging him, and she jumped. I hated him for that. And one time, he was kicking me. I was down on the ground. Oh, God, I'm about to cry. I haven't talked about this stuff in years. Give me a second, guys. I got all emotional. But anyways, the dog came and laid over top of my head. Gosh, I got emotional. Crystal, I put dye in my ex's shampoo as I left. Hey, I got to the point with him. I was in the kitchen one day cooking, and I had a butcher knife in my hand, and he started coming. He would just jump on me for nothing, y'all. He was crazy. I'll tell y'all another story in a minute. He started coming towards me. I told him, I said, if you touch me, I'm going to effing kill you. I mean, I was fired up. And he came towards me, and I took a butcher knife, and he ducked, and it stuck right in the wall. Yeah, but I realized, I was like, man, I'm going to end up doing something to this man. I mean, I was going to end up snapping on him. I had been doing research, and I knew about battered wife syndrome and stuff like that. So I knew I was going to snap on him. I had to get away from him, or I would have hurt him. I didn't have a 38 Tremaine. I don't like guns. I'm going to tell y'all how sick this man is. This is the way abusive men are. Jeff was going to work one morning. We had these bay windows in the kitchen. So when the guys pulled in to pick him up, they could see me through there. But I had pajamas on. But them guys used to aggravate him about me. And they didn't know he was abusive because he was nice in front of everybody. Well, one morning, his friend that he worked with, Jason, he said, boy, Celeste looked good in them purple panties this morning. You know, and if Jeff had thought about it, I had pajamas on. I wouldn't stand in front of the window as jealous as he was. I mean, I couldn't even make eye contact with people when I talked to him. Anyways, he comes home from work and jerks my pants down. I had no idea what was going on, you know, and I did have purple panties on, but you know what? I have a lot of purple panties. It's my favorite color. But years later, I talked to that guy about it. I ran into him. He's like, I'm so sorry when I told him the story. But what a coincidence. Yeah. And I got the shit beat out of me for that. It's crazy. And you know what, though? He has the most miserable life, y'all. He's the town drunk. This was a good-looking man, had a good job and stuff when I met him. He just went downhill. He's the town drunk. Never had nobody else since me. Still obsessed. Still, oh my God, I can't stand running into him in Walmart. He tries to talk to me and stuff. I can't stand it. I left another boyfriend one night from a restaurant telling him I was going to a shelter because he was not going to beat me up that night. Hey, I left Jeff back in the mountains in about a damn foot of snow on a four-wheeler. We was driving out of the mountains. He had hit me and stuff up in there. Anyways, he dropped something off the four-wheeler and had to stop. And I slid up and took off, went home, left him miles back in the mountains, went home, locked the door, and locked him out. He had to go to his daddy's. I swear. I would not go through that again and put up with that. I can't believe I got emotional about it. You never know how these live streams are going to go. You get to talking about stuff. I really feel for anyone that's been abused or in an abusive relationship. I know how it feels. I don't know why we allow people to do that to us. I still don't understand it. I think a lot of us women grow up without father figures, and we look to these men to make us feel loved and important or something. It's the only thing I figure out. I'm just looking at the chat. Learned behavior growing up. All in the name of love. Yeah. Hey, Shay. Life is too short to live in that situation. My daughter is living that life. Hey, if she knows what I know now, oh my gosh. Y'all, my 18th birthday. Let's see, right after. No, it was the next year. Okay, I started to say I was married on my 18th birthday. But I wasn't. It was the next year. But I wasted, my point is, I wasted, my young years. That's why me and Timothy's daddy didn't work out, because I just got out of that abusive relationship to my first husband, and it was a rebound relationship, unfortunately. I just wasn't happy with him, you know. I needed some freedom. I was young. I'd been married to someone that was a lot older than me, that was mean to me, and I just needed some freedom without a man, I guess. My ex contacted me a few years ago on Facebook and made amends. He was sober and truly seemed sincere. You know what my ex says? He says, Celeste, why do you tell people I was mean to you? I mean, he squeaks like a little girl, y'all. And, I'm just like, are you serious? I mean, he's delusional. I know what you mean, Susie. My father was no one to look up to. Maybe I knew who to avoid. Yeah. My best friend tells young girls, don't waste the pretty on an ugly man. Ain't that's true? Anyone that talks down to you and stuff, you don't need. That is not love. When someone hits you, that's not love. I don't care if they say, you're my soulmate. If they're beating on you, they don't love you. I was in a very abusive marriage. I stayed thinking my kids didn't deserve a broke home. When I finally left, I believe that's why I like being alone. It is, Cheryl. Lisa 54 is the same way. She was in a bad relationship, and that's why, she don't want a man. My mom told me a long time ago, years ago, she was like, when you get to a certain age, you won't even care if you got a man or not. And that's the way I am. Cece, have you heard from Cricket? No. Where is Cricket and where's Chrissy? I've not seen Cricket, and Chrissy wasn't in here yesterday or today. There's Karen. Hey, Karen. Pamela, when you come from abuse, it's an easy trap to fall into a relationship. Yeah. I hope Cricket's dad's okay too. I've not really seen her around, but I've not really been going into live streams. If I click on one, I usually don't even look at the chat. I've been trying to get out of watching the drama, listening to it lurk. I've been trying to get out of that habit. Even though I'm not involved in it, I still believe it affects me listening to it. So I'm trying to break that habit. It's easy to go down that rabbit hole. Sapphire Life. Good morning. Cool name, Sapphire. No, it made me very, very afraid of men. I am intimidated by men. I get, nervous talking to men. I try not to, but I notice I do. Hey, somebody's been commenting on my videos, bigboobs.com, and I'm like, they did it on my Funny Farm channel, my damn animal channel, and then they did it on this channel. And I'm like, what is bigboobs.com? People don't comment stuff like that to me. It's crazy. It's disrespectful. It's getting a little chilly in this bedroom. I'm going to turn on my little fireplace heater. My blood pressure is probably low. When I get cold, my blood pressure is usually low. Love shouldn't hurt. Exactly, Pamela. Exactly. Let's get back to our true crime. I see. I had some more stuff I was going to talk about. I got off on domestic violence here because of the lady in Manhattan that was brutally, brutally murdered. I'm trying to find... Oh, crap. Oh, yeah. So this woman takes in a stray dog, right, guys? A couple days later, it mauls her to death. Let's see if I can find that. Right here it is. Disabled resident takes in stray dog. Days later, it mauls her to death. Let's see. I got to change the subject. I got all emotional talking about abuse. Oh, my goodness. I'm too sensitive. Okay, this woman was from Texas. It says a Texas woman who suffered several dog bites at her home late last month died from her injuries on Sunday. I think it's the Tarrant County Medical Examiner's Office listed Sharon Baldwin's cause of death as a mauling by canine. She was 60 years old. Okay, so her home is in Fort Worth, and it happened on March 28th. Guys, you got to watch about dogs that you don't know much about, and you got to kind of read the dog's body language and stuff. Now, they got a picture of a dog that looks like a pit bull and boxer mix. Okay, so a man that lived with Miss Baldwin told authorities that they found the stray dog several days before the attack. He reportedly also claimed the dog hadn't caused any problems before last month's incident. Okay, it says authorities said the mauling occurred after Baldwin either rolled over the dog with her wheelchair or fell on the canine. The Star Telegram reported that she suffered injuries to her neck, arm, and shoulder. Animal Control has possession of the dog. It's unclear whether the animal will be euthanized, though city officials told the news outlet that they don't put down every dog that bites. Yeah, but this lady died. I mean, unfortunately, sometimes dogs do act that way if they're hurt. Yeah. Do y'all remember that lady? Wasn't it in California? Her next door neighbors in the apartment complex had 2 pit bulls. And she was scared of them. And when she came home one day, she couldn't even get in her apartment. They attacked her and ripped her apart. Do y'all remember that? And they put the couple on trial. Yeah, it seems to get triggered easy. It's probably been abused. Yeah, verbal. Well, I accidentally step on my dogs sometimes because they're always right underneath my feet. They're always causing me to stumble and trip. And they'll yelp out sometimes, and I'm like, oh, I'm sorry, baby. But they don't try to bite me over it. Now, Smokey might, the schnauzer. He has bit me before. Yeah, they were lawyers. Mm-hmm. And they tried to, I don't know why, but the news made a big deal out of her being a lesbian. That don't have a damn thing to do with it. Yeah, she didn't know its history, Karen. Yeah, like feather. It's hard. It's hard not to step on them when they're underneath your feet. I don't know if I said hi to Marie, but hey, Marie. Cement Shoes, aka Andrew, messaged me, and I gave him your address and stuff, and he's going to get you a care package out. I'm going to see if Amazon ships toilet paper. I'm sure they do. Mail. If you're in an abusive relationship, call a local shelter or the National Violence Hotline at 1-800-799-7233. Yes. Alyssa, showing fears to dogs is sometimes a trigger. Hey, they can smell fear. Horses can smell when you're scared of them. You know, if you're trying to ride a horse and it knows you're a little bit scared, intimidated of it, it'll buck up on you. It won't move. It won't go where you want it to. They smell it. Oh, yeah, by the way, I figured out why Annabelle, my goat, has been wanting to headbutt me. Because when Mark's not working, I'll send him over there in the mornings to let out the animals, because that's when my leg hurts the most, when I first get up in the mornings. He's been over there roughhousing with Annabelle, playing with her. She wants to headbutt up against him and stuff. I got all over him when he told me that. This morning I was like, I don't know what's up with Annabelle, but she's trying to headbutt my leg, and she headbutts my bad leg and breaks it. I might have to have it amputated or something. You know, and he's been over there messing around with her. Bad influence. Yeah, good question. Why is he doing that? He better quit. Believe me, he got told off about it. On particular over my animals and stuff. I was wondering, like, why is she wanting to headbutt me and stuff? I mean, I know she's trying to play, but she can't do that. If she was to catch me off guard, she's like right at the height. If she headbutted me, it'd go right into my leg. He can't be doing that. I said, if you want to headbutt her, go over and put you on a helmet and headbutt her. I saw a guy on YouTube doing his goat like that. He's already got a traumatic brain injury. Doesn't need another one. If you're in an abusive relationship, call your brother, uncle, dad, male cousin. Better yet, all of them. Yeah. If you're in an abusive relationship and you're going to leave, don't tell them you're leaving. You leave when they're gone somewhere, and you know they're going to be gone for a while. You haul ass then. You don't never tell an abusive person you're leaving them, because they will hurt you, if not kill you. Never. You just leave. Don't even tell anyone where it could get back to them. It's the most dangerous time, exactly. Yeah, if you break up, never go meet them alone. Don't let them come to where you're at. Don't give them your location. Turn your location off on your phone and everything. Change your phone numbers. Ghost them. You know, I had to go get an EPO. And I was so ignorant at the time. That cop held up that paper and he's like, can he walk through this? And I was like, no. He's like, yes, he can. He can walk through this. This doesn't guarantee your safety. Hey, the sheriff's office gave me, this is for cell phones. You know, everybody had cell phones. They gave me one of those old school cell phones where I could call 911. And they would know where my location is. Usually an EPO is only like for 72 hours, but where he kept messing with me and violating it, they done it for a year. And they told him, they said, if you keep trying to have contact, third-party contact, any kind of contact, you're going to come back before me, and I'm going to give you a year on each charge. He finally backed off. Verbal, seriously, don't say crap. Get your ducks in a row and get the F out. Yes. Yes, have an exit plan. Don't say anything. Don't say, oh, I'm going to leave you. No, no. You may make them flip their switch into something crazy because they're losing control of you. They've lost control. That can be dangerous when someone like that feels like they're losing control. Look what happened to Fotis Dulos. He was losing control. He committed suicide. And killed Jennifer Dulos, allegedly. Killed Jennifer Dulos, then took his own life. Sometimes the abused find it hard to leave. Yeah, because it does something mental to you, Elisa. I used to feel like nobody would want me. I was ugly. I couldn't live without him. I don't know what in the hell was wrong with me back then. Hey, Miss Melissa. How are you? It's like it done something mental to me. He beat me down. I have never felt so beat down in my life. I mean, I just had no self-esteem. I mean, I have trouble with self-esteem right now, but I'm a lot stronger person. I will stand up for myself. I always say, I'm not going to let no woman run over me. Men's run over me my whole life. I'll be damned if some woman's going to. That's what I always say to myself. Well, I have trouble with confidence. I'll just be honest. I really do. You know, sometimes I'll get on here and I can tell I'm lacking confidence. Even though I know what I'm talking about, I'll act like I don't, even though I know what I'm talking about. So I'm trying to work on that. Oh, yeah, let's talk about, let's see what else. I don't know if I'm going to get to everything this morning. Those two kids up there, side by side, the little boy and girl, they were killed by their dad in a murder-suicide over the weekend down in Spring Hill, Florida. It says 2 children found dead at a brutal murder scene have been identified following a Friday morning house fire in Spring Hill, Florida. Let's see. So, a woman says she received a suicide text on Friday morning from someone in a home off of Dunkirk Road. She drove straight to the home and upon arrival noticed fire coming from the residence. The Ocala woman, who was reportedly an acquaintance of the man who lived in the home, stepped inside and saw at least one person deceased before calling 911. Fire rescue, along with Hernando County Sheriff's deputies, arrived at the home and noted the fire was coming from one of the bedrooms. Once deputies could search the house after the smoke cleared, they determined that the fire may have been started after 2 children had been murdered. The suspect, identified as Derek Albert Vasquez, 43. He killed himself after allegedly killing his 2 children, Caden, 13, and Kalani, 10. Investigators found all 3 deceased inside the home. The children died from homicidal violence. On Friday, Hernando Sheriff Al Ninhus indicated that there were some domestic violence type overtones involved in the incident. Damn. So much violence in the news. Okay. So there is a GoFundMe page set up to help with the funeral and burial cost. And it says the suspect, Vasquez, was not in his right state of mind. It says neighbor Nancy McAlpine arrived home after an overnight shift and heard a woman screaming about her children. She told police that she didn't know the family well, but heard loud arguments coming from the home in the past. McAlpine added the family moved into the neighborhood less than a year ago. He shot my kids, the woman screamed. According to McAlpine, authorities took the unidentified woman in for questioning. Okay, authorities are still investigating the incident. How sad. I can't imagine what she's going through. Bless her heart. Poor kids. Bury him in a pauper field, or better yet, cremate him. Yeah. They added in that he wasn't in his right frame of mind when they were talking about the GoFundMe set up to pay for the family's cost. I guess it's going to pay for his too, is what I'm assuming. Sorry to hear that, Shay Shay. I know what that's like. I used to pray that my ex-husband, when he would pass out drunk, I'd tiptoe around the house, just trying not to wake him up, praying he wouldn't wake up. Didn't have to deal with him. Yeah, abusers are both male and female. Yeah, there's women that abuse men. Absolutely. You just don't hear about it as much. Be an interesting live stream if we could get someone to share, like a man, to share their story of being abused by their wife or whomever. Walking on eggshells is horrible, yes. Yeah, it's hard, Shay Shay. It's hard to get through. Verbal is a good guy. He raises his kids on his own. Thank you, leave it to Beaver. Yeah, when I see him in Walmart, I go the other way. Last time me and Mark seen him, I was like, I am getting the hell out of here. Because I have seen him in Walmart and had, just run smack dab into him. He's always got something to say. Oh, your hair or something. I can't stand him. Me and Mark saw him walking on the 4-lane one day. You could tell he was drunk. He said, "Will you stop and give him a ride?" I said, hell no. That's his problem if he's drunk. Walking on the side of the 4-lane. That's not mine. Gorma's a bitch, isn't it? I don't got no sympathy or empathy for him because he never showed me any. So why should I give him any? Best revenge is a life well lived. Exactly. I was just looking up the Alex Skill case. I never heard of that. Hey, the Queen C. I would lay in bed next to him thinking, and him trying to think on how to kill him to make the abuse. I know, Marie. I think any woman, if they're being honest, that has been severely abused on a regular basis has had thoughts of how to make their partner go away, to make the abuse stop. It's called battered wife syndrome when a woman snaps. Someone's abusing her and a woman snaps, defends herself and kills them. It's battered wife syndrome. I watched a documentary about a woman. She was in another country. I do not know if it was Australia, over there in England, or where, somewhere like that. But she actually had a boyfriend, and he had some mental disabilities. I guess that's the correct way to say it. Very slow, okay? And she tortured and beat him and eventually killed him. I think she had someone there with her that joined in on the abuse. I cannot think of that woman's name. I will try to find that. My kid's father and I were very heavy into drugs, and he literally gave me something one time that almost killed me. My kidneys started shutting down. I went right in the hospital and lied. Yeah. Yeah, I lied for mine too. When he broke my jaw, I lied. And said that I fell down a flight of stairs. And the doctor made him leave the room. I'll never forget the doctor's name. His name was Dr. Littleton. And the doctor made him leave the room, and he was questioning me, and I just wouldn't tell the truth. They knew. There's nothing they could do without me saying. I was denying it. Yeah. We went out of town when that happened, when he broke my jaw. We had been split up. And he lured me back in. It's like, oh, I'll take you on a shopping spree. We'll go down in Gatlinburg. Well, everything was fine for about the first day. And then he went crazy. He beat on me for 2 or 3 days. He left the motel room and the maid come and opened up the door, and I was laying on the bed. She thought I was about dead, and she called 911. And a Tennessee state trooper came up in that room and carried me out to the ambulance in his arms. Yeah. But anyhow, it's ancient history. Men suck, some of them. Not all men. There's good men out there. A leopard don't change their spots. Nope. Yeah, he's got his karma though. You know, I'm not gonna wish nothing bad on him, but he's getting his karma. He's had it for years. I'm grateful for the person I am now, and I don't put up with nothing, and my girls are strong girls, and that's all I can ask for. And my son is very loving. Hopefully he stays that way. That's good, leave it to Beaver. That's the way my son is too. I've taught him, you know, you always respect women. He seems like he's going to have a good heart. I hope he stays that way. Just so much going on in the world here. It's just child abuse case after child abuse case, guys. Here is one. Mom let boyfriend viciously abuse her child with cords and phone chargers, cops say. This happened in South Carolina. Authorities in South Carolina are looking for a man who allegedly abused his girlfriend's child to the point that required hospitalization. The Darlington County Sheriff's Office said in a statement they're looking for Lamontio Kirksey, 31, for beating his girlfriend's child with cords, belts, and phone chargers. So authorities got involved when the child arrived at the hospital unresponsive and underwent extensive medical treatment. Their current condition wasn't disclosed. They're looking for this man. I wish I could screen share. I can't use StreamYards again until like Monday, I think. Okay, so the victim's mother, Catherine Fuller, 30, was arrested on one count of unlawful neglect of a child for allegedly allowing Kirksey to abuse her child. Police wrote that Kirksey is wanted for unlawful neglect of a child. Fuller remains in custody, and she awaits a bond hearing. And anyone with information regarding Lamontio Kirksey's whereabouts is to call the Darlington County Sheriff's investigators at 843-398-4920 or 911. Or you can call Crime Stoppers 1-888-CRIME-SC. Now these little kids that are being abused all the time, now that the parents are home all the time from work, they're going to be abused even more. I mean, I sit and think about things like that. You know, somewhere in the world, there is a kid being tortured and abused by the people that's supposed to love and protect them. It bothers me. It really does. When I read these stories, I picture it in my mind. I can't help it. It's like I can see it in my head happening. It gets to me. Let's see. I was going to talk about Carol Baskin this morning. I think I'll save that for tomorrow. And I had one more picture up on the screen, didn't I? And that is the detective that shot her rival. She was jealous over a man. This woman had worked for the police department for years. I'm going to see if I can pull it up. I think it's Alabama. Still all kinds of Tiger King articles, I see. Well, gosh, they got so many new articles since I was on here this morning. It's like 15 new articles. Okay, so this was a love triangle, guys. And it is the African American lady in the picture with the blonde hair, and the victim is the picture beside her in the black jacket. She was a detective, Elfreda Flucker, 39 years old, 15-year veteran of the Birmingham Police Department. And she faces capital murder charges after allegedly shooting a rival. She killed the woman because they were dating the same man. Let's read it. And then I got to get off here, guys. An Alabama detective is charged with murder for allegedly shooting a romantic rival in a deadly love triangle, say police. On Friday, about 11:51 p.m., Birmingham officers raced to Germana. What happened? Like, I don't know what happened. Okay. My phone is going crazy. I was reading it and then I looked over at my phone and it had totally X'd out of my stream. Okay. Let me read back. So on Friday at about 11:51 p.m., a Birmingham officer raced to Germana Park area after being alerted to shots fired by the city's gunfire detection system. There, officers found a woman in a vehicle who had been shot multiple times. The woman was rushed to the local hospital where she died. A preliminary investigation revealed that the victim, identified as Kenesha Nicole Fuller, was inside an unmarked Birmingham police vehicle with a Birmingham police detective at the time of the shooting. The investigation also revealed the identity of the alleged shooter, Elfreda Flucker, 39, a 15-year veteran of the Birmingham Police Department, who was assigned to the crime reduction team. Can you believe that? Crime reduction team, and she's out committing capital murder. Yeah, it went blank for a second. I got a text message or something, and it messed it up, but it shouldn't have. I don't know what happened there. I'm telling you, I can be watching videos sometimes. The video's not done, or it's a live stream. They're still live, and all of a sudden it'll go off of it into another video. Okay. So the motive in this homicide is domestic in nature, says the press release. Flucker was arrested at her Birmingham home and taken to police headquarters for further questioning. So after the Jefferson County District Attorney's Office reviewed the case, a capital murder warrant was obtained against her. She's charged with multiple crimes, including capital murder. AL.com reports. What's the other crimes? Probably it's premeditated. It reminded me of the, gosh, what's that woman's name? Stephanie Lazar? Is her name Lazarus? She's a freaking nut. She was a police officer too, and she killed her rival. And she got caught like years later. Okay, so she's in jail in the Jefferson County Jail, and she has no bond. I wonder what that's like. I mean, she's been a police officer, a detective, for all those years, and now she's the one that's thrown behind bars. So the victim must have been in the police cruiser with the man. And this Elfreda Flucker comes up and shoots the woman right in the police car. Right in front of that guy. She has crazy eyes. Her interview is very interesting. Alyssa, yes, I have listened to her interview. Like, she has crazy eyes. I can't believe she was a police officer. I can't believe she didn't get caught years ago. And then after this Stephanie Lazarus kills this lady. Doesn't she date that guy for only a little bit? And they break up and go their separate ways. She murdered that girl. They didn't even date after that. Short time. Do y'all think that police officers and other people who take oaths should get a harsher sentence? Yes, I do. I know we had some, well, it was down in Sullivan County. The correctional officer had gotten a girl pregnant. And the judge told him, he's like, you're getting a stiff punishment because, you know, you took an oath. Basically, is what he told him. He got all over him. I can't remember exactly what all he said, but he was told off. Those detectives sucked her in good on the interrogations. Yeah, she thought they knew if she came over to that one area, Stephanie would have to check her gun in. So that's the way they set it up. She had no idea. She thought she was going to go do some consulting. There's a speculation that her fellow officers may have buried a few things, but I don't think they knew it was her. I don't think they knew it was her either. I just can't believe she wasn't investigated when it first happened. I mean, she had been stalking this woman. That lady was a nurse. She came to the hospital and was like, you know, I'm sleeping with your man, all this crap. She was freaking nuts. They didn't trust her not to shoot them. I know it. They knew for a fact it was her. They knew that she was the killer because of DNA evidence. They knew it. They just need that confession. Well, guys, I'm going to get off here and go get my day started. I've not seen my cute little goat this morning. Mark opened her up this morning, so I'm going to go see her, try to do a funny farm video. I did do a little clip of me breaking the massive egg that the hens laid last week. I made an omelet out of it this morning. So, y'all get to find out how many yolks was inside. I'm not going to tell y'all yet. I was surprised, though. I was surprised it wasn't more, is all I'm going to say. But anyways, y'all have a great day. I love you all. Be safe. Peace. Oh, crap. Let me see if I can end it.